What's up, people? It's your man Urban Lover coming from your mama's basement, baby. And this video is basically about Loul Deng and Mozgov. Now, a lot of people were saying, why did the Lakers give them 4-year guaranteed contracts, and why did they give them that much money? All right, so I'm gonna start with Loul Deng. The reason why Loul Deng got that much money is, number one, the Lakers had to get rid of 90% of their salary cap. They couldn't leave none of it on the table. They had to get rid of up to 90% of it based on the CBA agreement. Now, with that being said, Loul Deng, the price tag that they gave Loul Deng to me was actually okay. My thing is that I wasn't so upset about the price tag, and I'm not really upset about them getting Loul Deng because I think Loul Deng is a good mentor for Brandon Ingram. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just name some of the guys that they looked at and that some of the guys decided to back off. Now, LeBron James, 9 times out of 10, we definitely wasn't getting him. This guy probably won like $50 million. So I'm going to throw him out the hat. They tried to talk to Kevin Durant. Remember, Kevin Durant didn't want to sit down with him. He didn't want to have a conversation with the guys. Nicholas Batum, he talked to him on the phone. That was about it. Nicholas Batum was looking to get over 20-something million. Chandler Parson, same thing. The Lakers were interested in him as well, but he definitely wanted over 20-something million. He feels though that is what he deserved. Now, with Chandler Parson, me personally, I wouldn't give him no 20-something million, only because of the last couple seasons he's been injury prone, and I think that he had to prove his worth in order to get that money. But Memphis went on to sign him, so kudos to Memphis. Then you had Kent Bazemore. Now, Kent Bazemore to me is not a small forward. I mean, like I said before in one of my other videos, he's 6'5", I think like 215, something like that. He didn't match up well against LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James just basically manhandled him. And anybody that got height and weight to him, they can actually manhandle Kent Bazemore. But he's a good defender, though. I won't knock that. But I look at Kent Bazemore more as a shooting guard than a small forward. And if the Lakers would have got him, because they offered him 70-something million, but he turned it down and went for lesser money with Atlanta. I guess because he looked at the opportunity like, okay, do I want to win now? Or do I want to, be on a team that's in the rebuilding stage? And I respect that. But if they would have signed him, most likely he probably would have played shooting guard. I don't think they would have had him running small forward. And then keep in mind, also Harrison Barnes, but Harrison Barnes was a restricted free agent. They didn't actually decide to release him until after they knew that Kevin Durant was coming to Golden State. So Loul Deng was actually a good move for them, like I said, because he's from Duke and he'll be a good mentor towards Brandon Ingram. So that's pretty good. And also on top of that, I don't know, maybe the agents worked something out where, listen, we'll take the deal, but you got to give us 4 years guarantee. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you get your money. You sign on for 2 years, because we're looking at it from the front office perspective, but we also got to look at it from the player's perspective. These guys like, okay, I'm signing on, but I don't want no 2 years and the third year is a team option, or 1 year then the second year is team option. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about he's up in the age where he's 30-something years old. He's not going to get no other better contract after this. So he's probably like, okay, well, I'm going to make these 4 years my best years. As money wise, to get what's is due to him. So 18 million a year, and then the second year it kind of goes down, then the third year goes back up. And like I said, the Lakers had to get rid of a good portion of that money in order to make sure they meet the demands of the CBA. So with Loul Deng, I was kind of happy. I was excited. Like I said, it was a beautiful thing. The Lakers definitely had to make a move, and they did the right thing with Loul Deng. Because I definitely would have gave it to Chandler Parson, and I definitely would have gave Nicholas Batum 20-something million. These guys, if you look at Loul Deng, like when he first went to Miami, if y'all follow him in Chicago, he was playing small forward, and he was actually, I looked at him as a pretty decent small forward. Then when he went to Miami, LeBron actually left. They picked him up in Miami. He didn't flourish right away because he playing with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and the Dragon. Well, before the Dragon. So, Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade were the 1-2 option, and then it was Loul Deng. Now, when Chris Bosh went down, this is when Loul Deng really, his game stepped up. His minutes, everything increased. I mean, his minutes increased, his production increased a lot. So if you look at some of the guys that's actually that I named, to be honest with you, the only one that really stands out over top of Loul Deng is really Kent Bazemore. And like I said, Kent Bazemore is actually a shooting guard. He's not a small forward. Besides Kevin Durant and LeBron James, they're in a category by themselves. So I don't need compare them to Loul Deng. But like Nicholas Batum, Chandler Parson, Ken Bazemore, and Harrison Barnes. Lou Deng is actually better than all four of them guys. Harrison Barnes, he's inconsistent. You really don't know what you get from Harrison Barnes because, number one, he's playing behind. Last year he was playing behind, the Splash Brothers and also Draymond Green. So he was like the 4th, 5th option on that team. You know what I mean? So you don't really know what you get, and at the end of the day, you're thinking like, should we give him this type of money? And also keep in mind, he was a restricted free agent, and the Lakers had to make moves because a lot of people were turning them down. So they had to hurry make a move and get rid of that money. They didn't want that money sitting on the table. And then on top of that, I already told you about Ken Bazemore. He was 6'5". Chandler Parson, like I said, 2 years, constant injuries. So that wouldn't have been beneficial to the team as well. And then you had Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum will probably average almost about the same with Lou Deng average. You know what I mean? So you got Lou Deng actually cheaper than Nicholas Batum. And also you got to keep in mind, there's no point in them really getting a young player when they got Brandon Ingram. So they want an old mentor type of player to help him achieve his goals so he can become better. And I think after the course of time, Lou Deng eventually is going to wind up coming off the bench. You know what I mean? And they're going to be in favor of Brandon Ingram. So that's why I think that they gave him that, the 4-year guarantee contract, because I think it had something to do with his agents. Like, look, we're going to sign it, but you got to get a man 4 years so he can make sure he get 4 years guaranteed. And like I said, a lot of us look at it from the front office perspective, but we got to also look at it from the player's perspective. So, kudos to them for getting Lou Deng, because like I said, out of all them guys I named, I would have definitely went after Lou Deng. I mean, Nicholas Batum, if you did $16 million, I wouldn't give Nicholas Batum $22 million, whatever it is that he got. So they did pretty good with Lou Deng on that one. Now, Mozgov, the one thing about him is that the only thing I really was disappointed about is that they didn't take the time out to really talk to anybody else. Mozgov was actually the first player to come off the board as soon as 12:01 hit. Once Hassan Whiteside stated that he wasn't coming, he wasn't basically seeing LA. I think only teams he basically was going to look at is Dallas and Miami. The Lakers had already made up their mind that Timofey Mozgov was going to be their man. So I think they'd already had the option of set up like he's going to be their plan B. Now I know I was talking about like why they didn't talk to L. Jefferson, Joakim Noah, Pau Gasol, and Festus Ezeli and Andrew Bogut. Now with this being said, L. Jefferson, I understand why they didn't look at his way. L. Jefferson is known to be injured. He hasn't really played a full season. So I understand why they didn't go in that direction. And I also keep this in mind. We got to look at the point that they had to spend 90% of their salary cap, the increase. They had to spend that. So do you want to give L. Jefferson $18 million? Think about it. Or $16 million. I mean, based on the fact this guy had been injury prone. Do you want to give him that type of money? So I understand why they didn't look at L. Jefferson. Now, Joakim Noah, that's a little whiffy. Now, for me, Joakim Noah was my second option behind Hassan Whiteside only because of his defense. And I think the Lakers definitely needed an interior defender, and he was known for that. He was known for giving you blocks, rebounds. He could hit free throws. He was a good player. The only problem is that he had, back-to-back injuries. So once again, are you willing to give this player 16 or more a year? New York took a chance with him, and they running with him. But me personally, I would have definitely gave Joakim Noah $16 million. I would have gave it to him. Only reason why, because sometimes when you got a player that's so good at defense, it can actually propel other players to play just as good as well. If you ever notice when Brandon Bass was in there, when he played good defense, like when he played against Sacramento, when he played good defense, it's like everybody else started playing good defense. Now, I'm not knocking Timofey Mozgov that he can't play defense, nothing like that. My only biggest thing about Mozgov is that, like I said, he's 30 years old. And I'm not going to really bash him. Like I said, I don't know what the Lakers front office, plans were. I'm not there. So, but another thing, Pau Gasol, according to rumors, he said he was open to hearing what the Lakers had to say. This is according to rumors. This is not actually coming out of Pau Gasol's camp. This is just another writer that was pushing that. So there was no guarantee. Pau probably didn't want to come back. You gotta look at Pau. Pau's basically towards the end of his career, and he probably was looking for another championship opportunity. So he took less of money than what was San Antonio, which I knew that was going to happen anyway. Now, I already knew Dwight Howard wasn't going to come here. I mean, that's a no-no, so I'm not even going to go into that one. Now, you had Festus Ezeli and Andrew Bogut. Now, keep in mind, both of these guys were restricted free agents. So, they, the one thing about the Lakers is this. Once they started getting all the negative feedback from players about they don't want to come here, don't want to, sit down and talk and all that, they had to make a decision right away. I know it was kind of crazy for a lot of people, like, man, why they do it so quick? Because I was one of them. But I understand where it was coming from, because at the end of the day, you got to keep in mind they had to spend 90% of that money. And they did not want to just get that money to any type of player. Now, Mozgov been in the league for a while, so that $16 million is really nothing compared to what it's going to be in the next couple years. Next year it goes up again, and then the year after that it goes up again. So you're going to have guys in the league probably making $50 million, aka LeBron. I mean, he'll probably have a contract where the third or fourth year going to be like $50 million, something like that, something crazy. But Festus Ezeli and Andrew Bogut didn't drop off until after the Kevin Durant situation. So it was like, should we wait around for him? Remember, they did the same thing with Eldrick last year. They waited around, and all these other players were getting picked up. Instead of just focusing on, like, okay, well, let's go ahead and start signing a small forward. Let's do this, let's do that. They waited for Eldridge to decide on what he wanted to do. And while they was doing that, other players were being picked up, and they were really left with nothing. So they did the opposite this year. They decided, okay, well, let's go ahead and just start grabbing players, because all we need is just players to come in, play their role. Don't expect so much from them, because we're looking at the young core and watch them develop. So I was a little upset because and I wasn't really upset about the money situation, because I totally understand why they gave him $16 million. I was more upset that they didn't talk to nobody. And then I was like basically just telling other fans, like, fans saying, well, Miles is going to give us 10 rebounds, he's going to give us a whole bunch of blocks, this and that. And I told him, I said, no, let's be realistic here. He's not going to give you 10 rebounds. He's probably give you 7, 8. Some games he might do 10 to 12, something like that. But you're not going to always get every game he's going to give you 10 rebounds. That's where Julius Randle's going to come in at. And so I'm not really upset about it. You know what I mean? I'm over it now because we got Zubac. And I'm hoping that the Lakers, don't give up early on this guy and make a drastic move that's going to involve, getting rid of him. I hope they just, let him grow up with the young players so that they all can gel together as one unit. So now, also keep this in mind. Like I said before, everybody said that why did he get a 4-year contract? According to his Twitter account, agents tweeted out that Moscow's government was looking for a 4-year guaranteed deal, and he wanted to start. So that's why the Lakers had no choice but give him 4 years guaranteed. Like I said before, going back to Loul Deng, these guys are like towards the end of their career. They're not going to get no other bigger contract besides what they're getting now. So they had to make sure that they get enough money to be sufficient for themselves for the next 4 years and going. Now, if they get traded or something like that, they still guarantee that money, because the team that picks them up got to make sure they pay him that money, because that's guaranteed 4 years, $64 million for him, and whatever it is for Loul Deng. So, like I said, they could have waited, but why wait if they didn't mess around and don't have nobody? Because eventually somebody's going to pick my government up. They probably not giving the $16 million. When the Lakers offer that, the agent like, man, take it, because there's no guarantee no other team gonna give you $16 million. If you look at what Roy Hibbert signed for, he signed for $5 million, and I think Jefferson signed for I can't remember what he signed for, but it was a little bit more than Roy Hibbert. I think it was like $10 million or $8 million, something like that. But the thing is, and the thing is, remember, Pau Gasol signed for $15 million. So you gotta think there was gonna be a team that was gonna probably grab him eventually and probably sign him for $12, $13 million. So the Lakers say, you know what? Instead of going around trying to figure out if these guys gonna come here and all that, instead of waiting, let's go at the players. Let's go at the C type players and go ahead and sign them. You know what I mean? So that we can go ahead and make sure that we got our team together. And they did pretty good in the draft. Like I said, with Zubac. So Miles government, he's going to be. I think Miles government is going to be pretty good as a mentor for Zubac. And I'm hoping that Zubac learns a lot from Miles government. Now, what he's going to teach him, I don't know, because like basically found his game is not too much to teach. Because I think Zubac has already, to my opinion, remember we all have opinions, but to my opinion, I think Zubac has already surpassed Miles government. Even though it was summer league, But remember, and I'm gonna have a video on him as well, and I'm gonna explain to y'all why I think that he's going to surpass him. I had a video I made earlier thinking when he's going to surpass him, but now I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think Zublock is going to pass him. So it's your man Urban Lover. You know, get in the comment section, tell me what you think. Like I said, this video is for you guys, so that way you can get in the comment section and discuss, you know, why the Lakers gave 4-year deals and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that it was a little clear so y'all can understand, because like I said, you got to think about it from the player's perspective, not so much the front office. You know, if they make these quick deals, their agent's going to make sure that their players are going to get the right deal. They're not going to just give them some bogus deal that's not going to benefit them or the agent for a year or 2 years, something like that, because after 2 years or 1 year, there's no other team that's going to sign them for that type of money. Look at Roy Hibbert, for example, $5 million. So they took the best offer and ran with it. So once again, it's your man Urban Lover. Like, share, subscribe, get in the comment section, tell me what you think. I love you guys. Definitely be safe out there and take care.